Hi guys, Joe Politics attended one of Reform UK's rallies this week where they spoke to members of the party or company and met some interesting individuals. However, this guy, it seems, is one of the more confusing ones. So we've heard a lot about defections from the Conservative Party to Reform, be it former MPs and councillors, and of course people who backed Boris Johnson in 2019 have now jumped on board the Farage bandwagon. But a young man Joe Politics interviewed claimed to have voted for Jeremy Corbyn in 2019 and now has joined Reform. I don't buy this for a second, and I'll explain why after the clip.
I voted for Jeremy Corbyn in 2019. I'm fundamentally a populist. I'm against the establishment. The establishment, Labour and Tory, have failed us. Tories for the last 14 years, Labour before them, and they opened the doors and everything that went on with that. I've actually had a look this morning where the highest turnout was and where the lowest turnout. The highest turnout was in Winchester, it was in Cambridge, it was Liberal, Lib Dem and Labour seat stronghold, right? The lowest turnout, you were looking at 25% in some cases, was in Yorkshire and the Humber, and it was in Lincolnshire. These are all places where Conservatives won and the Reform was second place in nearly all these seats. So you're seeing a situation where most normal people have no way of getting their voice out, they have no representatives in government, but they represent 40% of the country, are disgusting. They're horrified at what's going on in this country. And they're all going to vote for Reform. And if we can get the thing you typically don't vote to vote, it'll be a Trump-esque landslide in 2029 if we can mobilise that support.
Okay, I voted for Jeremy Corbyn in 2019. I don't believe a word he's saying because, and I'll get to some of the other points in a moment, but first of all, he mentioned here he's a populist. He's against the establishment. Nigel Farage is the frigging establishment. Nigel Farage went to a private school. Nigel Farage was a city trader before he became a politician. Nigel Farage represents the rich. He does not represent ordinary people. He pretends to, he cosplays as an ordinary guy down the pub, but Nigel Farage is the establishment. He's rubbing shoulders with the richest people in the world, and he has, it seems, almost the backing of the richest man in the world. How is that not the establishment? Just because he's not in power does not mean that he's not part of the establishment. Now, it's extremely funny that this guy claims that he voted for Jeremy Corbyn in 2019. Now, is it impossible? No, it's not impossible. If it's just about personalities, if he said, look, I'm going to vote for Jeremy Corbyn because I like Jeremy Corbyn and now I like Nigel Farage and it's nothing to do with policies, then okay, I take that on board. But I don't believe that. Because if we look at what Jeremy Corbyn was running on, what was his platform back in 2019? This guy said he voted for Jeremy Corbyn, or he voted, I believe, for the manifesto, for the platform. So, for example, public ownership was part of the Labour manifesto back in 2019. Nigel Farage is against that in most cases. A green industrial revolution. This was about investing in renewable energy, electric cars, making housing more energy efficient. Nigel Farage is against that as well. When it came to healthcare, Labour back in 2019 wanted to increase the NHS budget by 4.3% per year, and they wanted to remove as much as possible private provision. Jeremy Corbyn was campaigning for more support for the NHS. Nigel Farage instead supports an American-style healthcare system. When it came to Brexit, contrary to many beliefs, Jeremy Corbyn supported a second referendum on Brexit. Nigel Farage, while he has admitted that Brexit has not been a success, is against the idea of rejoining the European Union. On a minimum wage, Nigel Farage, it seems, is against the idea of a minimum wage and certainly against the idea of increasing it. When it came to housing, Jeremy Corbyn supported building 150,000 new council and affordable houses, social housing. Nigel Farage has said nothing about this. He prefers the market approach. Just allow the market to decide. When it comes to education, there was more investment in education. Nigel Farage has said nothing about that. And of course, social care, part of the 2019 manifesto included offering free personal at-home care for the over 65s in need. We haven't heard anything from Nigel Farage about that. So this guy claims that he voted for Jeremy Corbyn in 2019. Based on what? Because it can't be based on the manifesto unless you think the manifesto was a bad idea now. Or it maybe it's based on this idea of, well, I liked the guy. And it's nothing to do with the policies. But once again, you sound like an articulate individual. You sound like somebody who would vote based on policies, not just based on personalities. But if it is based on personalities, at least Jeremy Corbyn is closer to what ordinary people are like than Nigel frigging Farage. You can't claim to be a populist. You can't claim to be against the establishment if you're backing Nigel frigging Farage. So I don't believe for a second this guy voted for Jeremy Corbyn in 2019. And if he did, it was either by accident, by mistake, or it was down to, well, I liked the guy's personality. Because that's the limit of it. It can't be about policy, because the policies of the Labour Party in 2019 and Reform UK, whatever we can find policy-wise, are at polar opposites. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what do you think? As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.